Here we're gonna build this application. So you can add an item, build app, and when you're done you can check it and it goes down to the bottom. And you can delete it or you can add another. You can, for example, like this video, but then you think you have to like and subscribe because this video is so great, you know, we're gonna build a full stack application. I want to show you what's happening behind the scenes as well. So we got this database connected to this MAUI app, and we can add TODO here. Let's click that one, and I want to refresh this database. As you see, it comes. I want to show you what's happening behind the scenes as well. So we got this database connected to this MAUI app, and we can add TODO here. Let's click that one, and I want to refresh this database. As you see, it comes right away. We're offline, but let's see how long it takes. What's going on with going online, and let's try to refresh it. We can just type 5. Let's see what happened here. Try it. So it actually did work for us. If this is your first time writing MAUI apps, you have to set up your development environment. The best video I've seen is from Gerald Lewis. He has a crash course on how to set up. You can search this on YouTube for free. And when you're all done, come back here and create a new project. And the next thing you can do, you can search for MAUI, and you want to choose the .NET MAUI app. And the next thing you want to do is create a name. I'm just going to call this TODO MAUI, and click next and create. So when you're in here, you can check that everything is working. Go in and choose debug here and go to Android emulators and choose your emulator, and click on the play button. This is going to take a while the first time. Now it's up and running. You can check if it works, and when you know that it works, we can go to TODO MAUI, click the C# logo over here, and you can add an item group in the end here, for example, and it's going to look like this. You can install it from Tools and Nuget Package Manager, but if you want it to work like in here and to be sure that it's working, you should install the same version. It may work with newer or older versions, but I suggest you just copy in this for yourself. And we are going to have a slightly different structure than what's comes out of the box. We're gonna create a new folder here. Let's see, add new folder. I'm gonna stop this debugger for now. So we're added the folder, and you can rename the folder to views. And inside of the views, we can add a new item. .NET MAUI content page SAML. You can call that login page. And I want to add another view as well. New item, content page SAML dashboard. And we can add a new folder that's called view models. This is and a new item inside. C# items C# class, and we can call it login page VM, and another item that's class dashboard VM. And we can delete the main page.xaml. We're not going to use that. We're going to create another structure. That's MVVM structure. And we can go to the MAUI program. No, not yet. We're gonna get this view models started up. We have to add another view model as well. New item, C#. We call it base view model. So inside of base view model, we want to make it a public partial class, base view model, and inherit from the observable object, and have an observable property of isBusy, and notify the changes of isBusy to isNotBusy. You can have a title here as well. We're not going to use that in this case, so let's just delete that one. And we can have the base view model ready. So we can go to dashboard view model. The first thing we want to do inside of dashboard view model is we want to have a couple of private variables inside this class. But most important, we have to make this a public partial class and inherit from the base view model. And we want to add constructor public dashboard VM. So we can add, after the constructor, we can add a to-do list and an empty text observable property. So I want to add a new folder now, models, and inside of the models, I'm gonna add an item that's called to do. So what you want to do here is create a Realm object. So you want to inherit from the Realm object using Realms and MongoDB Bison. And we want to have the primary key here of the object ID and the owner name, the name of the to-do, if it's completed. Maybe we'll use this later, not for now, we have it ready. And the partition. So let's just save this one and we can go back to the to-do. We should add a namespace here, probably. Yeah, IntelliSense, when you hover over, it's gonna help add this using. So then we are ready to add the to-do list as an observable collection, and it doesn't have any items yet, but we're making the list ready, and we want to make the empty text just right away. And we have some more observable properties that's gonna communicate with SAML code, and we have an observable property here. Sorry, we already did this one. We want to also have an isRefreshing observable property. Gonna understand this later. I think that's it by now you want to continue on this one afterwards, we can go back to the login page view model, and we want to make this a partial class and inherit from the base view model, and we want to have the constructor and a couple of variables, email text and password text right away. And we want to have a method below this. Let's start dashboard, and I'm gonna go to the main. We haven't made this route yet. We're gonna explain that later. And we want to have a relay command that's gonna run from the SAML code. So we haven't made a login yet, so let's first make this Realm app work. So we can go to the app saml.cs, and inside of here we can write some code. This is gonna be the variable to sync this app, and inside of the app we wanna create this link, but we haven't made the app config and Realm app ID yet, so let's just add an app config. I want to add a new folder. We can just add a new item here. We can call that app config.cs, and inside of this app config we want to make it a public static class, and we want to have this string. I think that's it for now. We have a basic styling and a lot of stuff ready. So I think the next part is going to be to go on the internet, and you can go to Atlas MongoDB, and I can click the link over here, and what you want to do first is start free. I haven't paid anything yet for my sign up or database usage, so you can use it for free for a lot of small projects, I think. At least you can try it. So just to register here, and I'm just gonna sign in. When you're logged in, it's maybe gonna look something like this. I want to create a new project over here, and the project is TODO MAUI. I'm just gonna call mine TODO MAUI course, and I'm not gonna add members. I'm just gonna have myself as a project owner. So there I should have a database, build a database. I'm just gonna use the free shared and choose a nearby database location and create cluster. So actually we don't need to create a user, I think. We want to go directly to the app services, and what I want to do over here is add a new real-time sync, and create an app service. just gonna try this. I create app service. Let's try this out. So you don't need this from the CLI, you can close this one. And actually it's really simple to set this up. We can start with authentication. And check if your email password is on. That's the most important. You want to have this one on. Provider enabled, and automatically confirm users, and just like this, and the reset function. So that's already made for us. That's great. And actually we've come quite far already. We can click the application 0. That's a bad name for the application, but you can think about that when you make an application name next time. But what I want to do is add device sync. And we have development mode on. But why isn't this partition based? So we want to terminate sync first, because we're gonna build a partition based version. So now we can choose the partition based and add the partition ID, for example owner ID, and we want the users to read and write their own data. So I think that's about it. Sorry about that new option. I think we want to add this as a partition. Did I write that correct? Partition, create, and we want to have it as a string. That should be right for now. And development mode, yeah, choose development mode and enable synchronization, and we can save changes. There we go. So we can go back to application 0 and copy this app ID. And what we want to do next is go back to the application from this app services, and inside of the application we made, and this ID. And now you're getting the app config realm app ID. So that's about it for the app sample. You can save this, and we want to make the login code. And we want to make a relay command here, login, try, and await the login with the email text and password text. And if the user is not null, we want to await the shell and go to async. So we're gonna have to use the internet to log in. If not, we're gonna throw the exception. You can else catch the exception if something else. If it's an error logging, we want to add this namespace, show fixes realm sync. So there we go. Then everything is ready for this page. You can save this. login page, and actually we want to start designing the login page. Before we do that, let's go to login page sample.cs inside of views, and we want to add the login page view model so it can connect to the view model, and we want to add a binding context. Just add this namespace as well, and we can add a binding context of view model so we can do that right away in the dashboard as well. Add the dashboard VM, call it VM, and we can add the binding context to VM. So it's ready to run. And just gonna close this off. So we're probably ready to do some designing of the login page, which is empty by now. The first thing we can do is add a background color of 0069A6. And we want to have a data type. This one, X login page view model. It's getting an error now, so what you can do, we can wait with the data type. Actually, we can add the view model first. So what you want to do here is add a XMLNS VM, and if you type view model, you get the view model address from the IntelliSense. And now we can add an X data type of VM login. Just type login page and it will show up the right word for you there. And I don't want to show navbar is visible. I want to set it's false. So there we go. I want to start by adding a scroll view rather than a vertical stack layout. A scroll view, and inside of there we're gonna have a vertical stack layout that has the spacing of 25 and padding of 30, 0, and it's gonna be centered vertically. And inside of there we want to have an image. We've not added the image yet, but we can do that now right away actually. So let's add some margin to this to-do image. We can go and import that. Let's go to resources, images. I'm gonna type this, right click, add existing item. So I have this file in the to-do MAUI, and I'll choose all files. Let's just hope I have a file. You can download this file from a link in the description. Okay, so I added this to the project. It's important to not add images while you're running the app, or at least you have to run the app every time you add an image, you have to run the app again, because it's compiling the SVG to the PNG to the right size for the device you're compiling to. So that's about it for the image. We can add then a frame, and inside of the frame we can have an entry with the email text and text color of 333, and after the entry we can have a couple of buttons. We wanna wait a minute, we want to have the password as well, so let's just Copy this frame. It's the same padding, and we want to have the entry placeholder password and is password true, and the text password text. So before we can run this code, we have to add some dependency injections inside of here in the MAUI program.cs before the return builder. Let's add this code: dashboard singleton, add singleton dashboard VM. Have to add some namespaces here as well. This one too. And add the login page and login page view model. So inside of the app shell.saml, we have to change this local to .use. And I want to have a login title here and login page, login route. Why isn't this showing up? Type name, login page. Maybe I did something wrong. Don't do this yourself, but I'm gonna try to build it to see if everything goes the right way. But I think I got a fail. No errors. What can be wrong? Maybe we have to register the routes. You can go to appshell.saml.cs, and after the initial component we can register the login page and the dashboard page. Sometimes it tries to get some wrong namespaces. You have to watch the errors. It's adding the IntelliJ. I'm just going to delete that. So now we're back here. I'm going to try to build it. You can wait till I've checked if anything is maybe not ready. Yeah, so we had to register routing in the app shell. So before you do anything, I'm just going to try to run this now. You can wait till I say go. So I built it now and it looks like everything is working. So let's continue with design. Inside the login page, we want to add a button. Here after the frame, login button, and as well we want to add a create button. Create account button with the create account command. So we want to change some colors here as well. So we're gonna open styles. Inside of resources, styles. I didn't mean styles, colors of course. And the first color we're gonna change is the primary color to 00467. You can see it changing now. And the third color here, we want to change it to 0069A6. Maybe this is the same as the background color. Yeah. So what we can do is go back to the login page and change this background to the static resource of tertiary. So it looks the same. It's not black we want the tertiary. So it looks good. And then we should be ready. So we can try to log in, see what happens. Yeah, of course, we haven't made a account yet. So we get error message. And we can create account. Okay, so what we want to do is create a route for the main. And you're gonna go into app shell and copy this first shell content and change the login to main and dashboard and routing to main. The IntelliSense should work here though. I don't know why the IntelliSense isn't working now, but anyways, let's see if we can hot reload this and create account. Yeah, of course, we created account, but we couldn't go to main. So we can click login now. So there we go. Let's check in the database or user base, app users. There we go. Test user as created. From devices. Can't see the device by now. Looking good. Great. So now we can start building the dashboard. Let's see what we have inside the view model. What I want to do is create most of the view model ready, so it's much smoother to write the dashboard SAML code. So we can stop the app. Below is refreshing. We can add first code, initialize Realm, and we can, this method, we can add a config with the Realm app current user ID and current user as a login config, and we can get the instance of the Realm, and we wanna get the to-dos. We haven't made that method yet, and we want to have a check then if the to-do list count is 0, and if it's 0 we can load the projects, make an empty text loading projects, and try to get the to-dos again. That's about it. So let's add a relay command after this method. We can add the get to-dos, and inside of the get to-dos we want to have is refreshing. So I made too much brackets here. Let's just remove this. No, not there. There maybe. Relay command. So it's something I'm doing wrong. Yeah, I have to get this input. So there we go. Probably some curly brackets errors here as well. There we go. Yeah, and the first thing we want to do is add a try catch block with the variable t list and get all to-dos. all TODO model items to a list and reverse it so the last ones comes first and order them by the completed. And we want to add it to the observable collection to-do list. And we want to catch any errors if there are, like this. And we want to stop refreshing and stop being busy. Actually, I'm gonna add the other codes as well. At least we want to add to-dos. Now we can take everything right away. Now we have get to-dos. Let's add the edit to-do. Which is a relay command. And inside there we can add we can add a new string, the edit string, and prompt for the edit they want to make. And if the string is null or white space, we want to stop this code, return. And then if it's not null, we want to add a try catch block to edit the code. Find the to-do by ID and make it uppercase as well. I have not made this method yet, but we can make that. We can add a folder here. I want to call it helpers. And we can add a file. Click add, new item, and call it general helpers, and click add. So I've already written this. You want to make the first character uppercase. So that's the code we're gonna use. Write that in for yourself. But this is the wrong namespace to do MAUI. So there we go. And we can go back to here in the dashboard view model and add this namespace. So then this method should be working. And we want to add a new command. We want to check the to-do and try to, I'm just gonna write all the code here. We want to find the to-do by ID and make the found to-do completed to the opposite of what it was. And we want to order the to-do list so the checked goes to the bottom. And catch potential errors. And I actually want to add a sign out method right away. So like this. Gonna turn on the is busy. I see we should turn on the is busy here as well. Is busy false. So what's happening here? We're making a cancellation token source, and I've found out that I have to quit the app because if don't quit, there's some caching that can be saved if I log in with another user. There's maybe some of my Realm code that has to update with the login or something. I will tell you if I can fix this later in another video. So we have that code ready. So now comes an important one. We want to add a to-do. And first thing we want to do is check if it's null white space. Of course, we don't want to add any enter text that's null or white space. We want to set is busy to true, and in the try block we want to make a new to-do object with a to-do entry. We need a partition. It's gonna be the ID, and the owner is gonna be the email for this to-do object. You can write this, add this to the Realm and to the database, and reset the to-do entry text and get the to-dos. And after that, we want to add catch the exception with the error and make the is busy to false again. Is there anything I've done? Yeah. There we go. And we want to add a delete task function. Relay command is doing a lot of work for us behind the scenes, making the code easier to read. So we want to add an is busy and try block with writing to the database, removing the to-do, and we want to catch any errors and make this busy to false. So now we have written most of our needed backend code, or not backend code, but behind SAML code. You can call it something like that. And let me just try to run it. Just wait a second so you don't run it and wait for the wrong run. So I'm gonna try to log in, so it looked like it's working. So we can start designing the app, the dashboard. So we can start typing XMLNS and VM and view models, and we want to have the X data type to do. Wait a sec. Dashboard VM, and we want to add a model as well, models, and we can type in models here, hopefully. Yep, there we go. We have now models namespace, and we may need the views. I think we need the views, XMLNS local, and we type in views. And we're gonna make an X name, this one, to -b, and add another background color. And I don't want the title here, I just want it to be empty. So, but I want to sign out right after content page, toolbar items, and then bind it to the sign out command. And we're gonna change this content vertical stack layout to a content page content. Let's see, and a scroll view. I don't know if we need this code, but let's just have it there. And the first code inside the scroll view is a vertical stack layout with the padding 30-20, spacing 20, vertical option center, margin 0, 10, 0, 0. And inside of there, we want to have this TODO logo. Inside a vertical stack layout. Why isn't this showing up though? Maybe I haven't rerun. Yeah, we'll take a look at this later. I'm just gonna type label. Okay, so it looks like, is it working? Is the text coming in? We may have to reboot this app to make it look like it's changing. We may want to do that to see what's happening. So I'm gonna try. You can wait. I'm gonna try it first. Yeah, so I was right. You had to reboot the app. So now it's up and running. You can do that if you want to see if you have the same problem. And the next thing you want to do is below this image, add this grid with column definitions star and 100, and we want to add a placeholder to the item and bind it to the entry text, and the text color is 333 inside the frame. And add this button as well, which has the grid column of 1. You can see here it takes up 100. I don't know what to call it. 100 pixels or something. Probably not real pixels then. But anyways, we're gonna bind is enabled to is not busy. So it cannot run if anything else on the app is busy in the dashboard view model, as you may remember. So finish off this grid, and after that we want to make a vertical stack layout, and inside of there we want to make a refresh view that has the grid. Why does it have the grid row of 1? I don't think it needs that, but we need to get into this command, and it's refreshing. It's gonna be is refreshing binded, and inside of there we can add the collection view binding to to-do list, and afterwards we want to make an empty view like this. So when there's no text, we want to have the empty text binded to empty text and the EEE text color. And now we want to start with the item template, collection view item template, and we want to add a data template and X data type to models to do like this. And inside of there we can start with a frame of padding 15 and 10, margin 0, 0, 0, 17, and the background color, maybe you have this already in the definitions. I'm just gonna write it like that. C6, E4, F5. And then after the frame is ready, we're gonna make a grid with the definitions to columns, star, auto, auto, and inside of there, horizontal stack layout. And we're gonna have a checkbox, and I want to add some code here to make it checkbox recognizer when it's clicked. There's a couple of options you can do. You can add a command to the checkbox as well, but I found this to be the best solution for my version of this app. So this is connecting to the binding context and running the check to do command. And there you can see the name -b we wrote earlier, and the binding to like this is sending the whole object into the command. And after the checkbox, I want to make a label. And after the label, I want to make a label.gesture recognizer that has the same check to do command. So those two are the same. So you can, after that, I want to add a button after the horizontal stack layout, like this. That has the grid column of 1. Text edit is enabled. Binding to the binding context is not busy. Path and the source is referenced via -b, and the command is like this, and edit to do command, and sending the object, and the margin 0, 10, 10, 10, and vertical options center. And another button, that's delete button. It's gonna be margin 0, 10 and grid column 2. I'm not gonna tell you all of this. You have to watch it for yourself and type it for yourself. And then we are pretty much ready, I think. So it's gonna be an exciting moment to see if this can run. I guess I've done too much here, so I can't see if it's running. So let's just restart it. You can wait before we restart it. I want to change this color here. Yeah. Close the app. Wait, I want to find out this color. Let's stop this one. But I want to have this color here as the background. So let's just stop this. And what we want to do is go inside the styles before we run this again. Stop the app and go inside the styles. I think it's inside shell, almost on the bottom, line 358 or something. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong here actually, but I think it is the background color on the shell. So I'm just gonna move all this code and write this value. Well, the color here is the same, so we can do it a little bit better then. We can take a static resource, and what was 30 area, so it should work as the same. Let's just hope I use the right place. You can wait to run. I can check if I've done it. So now I'm trying the app. You can wait trying in case there's something wrong. Yeah, of course there's something wrong. I'm gonna figure it out, and you don't have to do anything yet. So I think I found the issue here. We gotta go to the dashboard sample.cs, and what you wanna do here is move this dashboard variable outside like this, and then we need to make a new dashboard view model and set the binding context afterwards. And we want to make on a pairing method here, protected override async void on a pairing. When it appears, we want it to await, and we want to go inside the view model and run initialize realm. There we go. Now we are sure that it's connecting to the right database, so it should work now. You can wait for a few seconds while I try. I started up, and yeah, baby, it worked. So you can just log in and let's test it out. Test. Yeah, good. And maybe I want to finish this app. Yeah, well, we can't check it yet. We have to test all the features. So check features. Did I write this right? I don't think so. Anyways, we can test to edit. Edit works. So the edit works, and delete works. You can see the first letter becomes bigger. Let's delete it. Yeah, looking smooth. And let's test if the check and go to bottom works. Yeah. I want you to fix a couple of things to make your app even better. So we can go into the dashboard view model, and inside of try catch block of sign out, you can remove those two last lines, and what you want to write here is this code, get the current user ID and remove the user, so you can just sign it out, remove the items from the cache, and you can go to login page or create or log in a new user. So that is more, so you don't have to quit the app when you sign out. And that's about it for this thing. So I actually found out there was an error with the synchronization when I went into the database. So let's see what happened there. Maybe you got it as well. You can see the synchronization between Atlas and the device sync has been stopped due to error. Dropping namespace to-do.item being synchronized with device sync is not supported. Okay, so let's try to fix this. We can stop the app first, maybe. I can sign out, or just, yeah, probably some debugging here. Just stop the app like this, and back to this home page. So first I will try to restart this Atlas synchronization. why. So it looked like there's an error again. Okay, we can start to try to stop the app and terminate. So now it's terminated and we can enable synchronization, hopefully. Enable. So then it's enabled. Could go back to the app. For example, log in, create account. And there we go. Let's see if something happens now. Yeah, finally. So there you can see the document database. It's working. All the documents is coming in the same page or folder. It's a collection actually, what's called. But if you go back to test.com and write test and log in, you can see there were no to-dos on the online database, so we lost everything. So, but now we fixed it. It should be working. Test 2, test 3, and if we refresh here now, we can see a couple of more documents, hopefully. Yeah, 2 owners with test, and they're completed. There you go. There you had some bug fix examples as well. So good luck with creating more apps. Thank you for following. So we got this database connected to this MAUI app, and we can add TODO here. Let's click that one, and I want to refresh this database. As you see, it comes